do a rap to that one at some point.
It's like, it's corny, but it's good.
You would be super talented if you could do a rap to that.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty super talented, but I don't think you guys would want me to rap. I'm Canadian and German. Has there ever been a Canadian German rapper?
No. Nor should there be.
Has there ever been a redhead rapper?
Macklemore.
Oh?
He's got a red beard.
Okay.
It's in there. The DNA's there.
He's a strawberry blonde. I'm going to give it to him.
Yeah, on top, but his beard is orange. Actually, it's one of my favorite songs that he does is Irish Celebration. It's actually one of my favorite Irish songs.
Yeah, he's actual Irish?
Not from Ireland, no. He's as Irish as I am.
Okay, so
yeah, he's not from Ireland.
United States version of Ireland.
Yeah, but because he's Macklemore.
But his blood, is his blood actually Irish?
Yeah. In the song it says, "I'm proud to be a Haggerty." He's a Haggerty.
What is that?
It's an Irish clan.
Okay.
So, anyways, the Irish, you got to listen to it. Irish Celebration. It's a rap Irish song with the violin in the background, banjo, stuff like that. It's a good rap song. There's always this one. The kids like it too, but there's always one part where he says "F the London Guard," but it doesn't say F. And then me and my wife always know when it's coming up. We're like, yeah, hey,
your own version
so that
of
they don't
parental.
Hear it. Yeah. No, we don't say anything. We just yell so that they can't hear the F word.
Just start doing a beep.
Yeah, but it's good. It's a good Irish song.
Okay, Macklemore. Well, yeah. I don't know how we got there so fast. We got there really fast.
I don't know either. All right, so today's topic, we want to talk about, obviously, real estate and should you sell or should you hold? Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's that clear, cut and dry of should you sell and should you not. But real estate prices are, as we were shooting one of our videos today, inflated. Yeah. And that's an understatement. I sold my house. We were just talking about it prior to this podcast. I sold my house, was it now 2 months ago? 3 months ago?
3 months ago.
Yeah, almost 3 months ago. And I bet I could get another 150, 200 grand out of it now. Had I probably waited. Yeah. But hindsight's 2020. Always. Don't know. And that's been the case with all the houses actually. Right. I thought in 2016 in the former neighborhood in Canterbury, I sold at the top of the market. Right. Yeah. That same house, I think I sold for $450. I think it was what we sold it for. The same house sold this summer for, it was over $600. And I want to say that the sale price, the realtor who also lives in the neighborhood posted about it. It was like 10% above ask or something like that. So over 600,000. Yeah. I mean, I believe it, man. I sold mine in December, end of December, beginning of January, beginning of the year. And it was our starter home. I mean, we built it when we were 20 years old for 160 grand-ish. That's crazy. Not even old enough to drink. Yeah. In Tennessee. It was against, really, what was funny, it was 2008. It was against pretty much most Wisconsin
advice.
Is 18? I know, I'm stuck on
You are stuck on the
drinking. I think it's Wisconsin. You can drink at the age of 18.
No.
I think so.
We need a fact check on that.
Yeah. All right. We'll fact check it.
I mean,
Baker, Google that. And
that will be impressive.
Put it in the comments.
Yeah. We need to put that somewhere. If any of you are from Wisconsin, let us know what the legal drinking age is in Wisconsin.
And if you are from Wisconsin, we're sorry.
Yeah. It's okay.
Not sorry for making a mistake. We're sorry that you made a mistake.
Yeah. That's all right. I was originally born and raised in, to be clear, I'm not from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm
the mistake by the lake.
And they call it the mistake by the lake, which is highly offensive. Yeah. But you know what? Baker Mayfield, the Browns, who would have thought
there
in my lifetime.
We just,
come on
somewhat
now.
Real estate related. We're talking about different geographical locations. So back to real estate.
Yes, back to real estate. Okay, so so I sold my house for $300. I built it for $160. I thought I was killing it.
Right.
I sold to my nephew. The nephew could now sell it for probably $375, $380. And that's in like
out of a year.
That was January, to now. So needless to say, it's inflated. Now, does that mean, bubble, all these, terms? Everybody has their own forecast. And look, nobody has a crystal ball, right?
Right.
Nobody knows for sure. There's so much government, I'll call it interference right now, that it's hard to really see where it's going to go. It's going to depend on how much the government keeps pumping money into the economy, and there's multiple factors. But one thing that I get a lot on phone calls when I'm talking to people about the replace your mortgage strategy is, okay, I have my house. I have a ton of equity in it. We're potentially looking at selling. This comes from especially Californians. I have a lot of California clients that are like, well, we kind of don't want to be in California anymore. So we're thinking about selling and moving to a place like Nashville or like, Texas, Florida, like these states that are hot spots.
Which automatically means that they're one of the brighter colors in the crayon box because they're in California and they want to leave.
They're willing to leave.
Yeah.
And, so that's a common topic is like, should I sell?
Can we keep a tally of who all's getting offended? So we've got Cleveland, we've got people from Wisconsin, and then Californians.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've offended 3 people so far. All right, let's keep it going.
Let's keep rolling. Mm-hmm. So anyways, we have, God, you got me off topic. The mistake by the lake, man. I keep going back to it. So anyways, people are always wanting to know, hey, should I sell or should I keep it and rent? But then the problem with that is, in a mortgage, traditionally, you don't have access to that equity. Right. And so naturally, some people could get second lien HELOCs and things like that, but it becomes cumbersome because, there's limitations on that, as far as the values and things. Mm-hmm. And also from the rental perspective, now you essentially have your rent coming in if you were to rent that house, and now you have a mortgage and a HELOC to pay on if you were to use that equity and cash in on that equity. Right. So one of the things that we propose is obviously utilizing the first lien HELOC strategy. Mm-hmm. First lien HELOC strategy solves both of the problems there. And ultimately, we're going to get more into the inner workings of it. But ultimately, the answer is going to be, why would you sell a house and potentially lose 6 to 8% on that value, the total sale price of the house, in closing costs, real estate fees, capital gains tax would be even more.
And appreciation. So we talk about, because that's one of the motivating factors of people wanting to sell now is the price that they can get.
Right.
I mean, I submitted a contract on Sunday, this past Sunday, on a house, and we went in. It was more than 10%. No. We went in 5% above asking. Over asking, and I also doubled the earnest money. There was a couple contingencies, but we tried to keep it really clean. And as soon as I sign it, my realtor calls me and says, okay, I got the signed version. Here we are 10 minutes later. There are 4 offers, and really you need to go up another 20%.
Right.
20%.
It's crazy.
I'm not playing this game. So, what you're saying, Fannie Mae recently came out with a report that, are we going to see a cool down? That's what they're saying is, yes, we're not going to see these astronomical increases in real estate value, depending on where you are. But it's not like it's going to go backwards in 2008. Mm-hmm. We're not going to see a reduction in home price. And I think that's what some people who did sell are now waiting for it to cool down and actually cool off where the values are going down. I don't think that's going to happen. And Fannie Mae has said that's not going to happen. In fact, they're going to see back to a healthy appreciation of 4 to 8%. 8?
Yeah, that's healthy? Crazy. That's not healthy. That's insane stuff.
And I know I'm on one end of the spectrum of 8% versus their 4%. 4% being normal, 8% being pretty high.
That'd be pretty high.
But nothing like what we've seen over the last 18 months.
No.
So values are still going to increase.
Yeah.
So to your point, kind of like me, I kind of now have a little bit of seller's remorse. Like, dang, I could have got another 150, 200 grand if I'd just sucked it up for a couple. But then again, I set the market for my area.
Correct.
Nobody else was selling, and I sold. Now everybody else is like, well,
that's what happens. Once I know that I can get that, then now that number all of a sudden is like, wow, that's attractive.
Yeah.
But again, you have to think about this in a big picture perspective, right? So if we know the statistics are there's a little over 2 million seriously delinquent mortgages in the country right now, right? That are in forbearance and delinquent. Now, they're sitting on a crap load of equity.
There's more that's in forbearance though, right?
Well, seriously delinquent.
Yeah,
so they're considered seriously delinquent, which is in jeopardy, basically. There's a lot more taking advantage of forbearance that aren't necessarily needing it. They're just taking advantage of it. And that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, so it's just about 2.1 million is, roughly, it fluctuates every day, but That's seriously delinquent, right? These people are sitting on a lot of equity. So the chances of foreclosure with these people is very slim because worst case scenario, they're going to go out there, stick a for sale sign in the front yard, sell it in 3 days, make a bunch of money, walk away, right? So most likely most of those will sell. There will be some that foreclose, but most of them will sell.
A lot of inventory that hits the market.
It's a ton, but this is why the statistics are so important because we know 2.1. Let's say 75% of those people. Let's say it's 1.7 million of 2.1. That's even higher, right? Let's get crazy.
Boy, you're being really conservative. I'm just kidding.
I mean, I'm always conservative. I'm pessimistic.
Yeah.
So let's say all those people sell, get rid of their house, whatever, right? That floods with inventory. Here's the other side of that token, though. Right now, there was a statistic released from the National Builders Association. The United States is 1.8 million homes behind to even keep up with normal demand.
Right.
What we're in right now is not normal demand.
Correct.
There's massive demand because there's massive sale and people are moving all over the country. So 1.8 million behind.
And low borrowing costs.
Correct. Very low. Rates are low. Everything's low. So all that to say, okay, let's say, and this is where I think, this is my personal opinion, I think what we're going to have is when those forbearances do end and then comes time to pay, you're going to have some people that are just going to pay up.
Yep.
Move it to the end of the mortgage, reamortize, whatever, depending on what the bank is doing. But there will be a significant amount of people that will stick for sale signs in the yard, and that's going to increase inventory. But again, all it's going to do, in my opinion, and I think where that report's coming from, is it's just going to bring supply and demand more to a normal situation again, where it's not going to be in this hyperinflation that we're seeing right now with the real estate market specifically. And we're going to see that. So all that to say, to get back to the point, which was, it depends on your house. First of all, if you're in a multi-million-dollar house, it might not be a great rental. It might be a good Airbnb potentially, depending where it's at. But if you're in a house that's, 700 and less, potentially, depending on location, could be great rental, great cash flow. If you drop a first lien HELOC on it, first of all,
have you looked at the rentals in our area?
They're expensive.
2,500 square foot is $4,500 a month.
Yeah, no, it's expensive.
Yeah,
that's a lot of cash flow. And not to mention, if you have a first lien HELOC,
we're not talking about 2,500 square foot on 10, 15 acres.
No, it's a neighborhood.
It's a neighborhood with a quarter acre.
Right.
Yeah, 4,500.
HOA.
Yeah.
That doesn't mow your grass, and you still pay them. Anyway, that's a sour subject for me.
Okay.
I just can't stand HOAs. But anyways, your debt servicing on that minimum is interest only, right? On the values we're talking about, you're talking about massive capitalization rate gains if you have an interest-only payment on it. Now, granted, you can roll forward and start to put equity and knock that house down quick, or if you buy a primary residence, you cash on that equity.
So another primary residence.
You put somebody else in that one. You have a new house. You cash in on that equity to get your primary residence because that's most people are going to sell their house to get access to their equity to put down on the new house, right?
So you're talking about gaining access to the equity without having to sell your asset.
Absolutely. First lien HELOC does it. And it gives you access to pay interest only, worst case scenario.
Yep.
Still tax deductible, right? It's Schedule E tax deductible on those expenses. And then, so you have the best of both worlds and you've increased your balance sheet looks great, right? Taxes, better, you can do different segregation, you can do depreciation, all these things that are going to help you pay less to Uncle Sam. And so there's just so much benefit to it.
Speaking of Uncle Sam, you don't have capital gains.
Exactly. So less, you have no capital gains, plus you actually have tax advantage to keep it. So obviously, there's these I'll call them real estate moguls out there that are all about, let's rent. Buy more rentals. I'll tell you, BlackRock, very large hedge fund.
Yep.
Guess what they're buying most of their portfolio right now?
Real estate.
Guess who gets their money from BlackRock? Federal government, right? Federal government is highly involved with BlackRock, as well as mortgage-backed securities that are being bought. That the government is pouring heavily into the real estate sector because they expect it to keep going. Yeah. Like now, granted, like you said, not at the same tick that we're seeing right now necessarily, but the idea of a bubble popping, to me, I think regionally there could be some small correction, but I think nationally, I personally don't see it. I don't see the statistics that add up to it. Now, maybe something happens, the government comes in, who knows? But all that to say, a lot of the regulation that the government is talking about, Section 8 regulation and things like, not regulation, I shouldn't say, stimulation more than anything. Yeah. They're going to beef it up. These are all things that are going to help the people who own real estate. The people that are on the outside looking in, their money's getting eaten up by inflation.
Yeah.
And that's it. So to have more real estate, that's inflation corrected assets, that's going to be huge. And I just think that right now, again, depending on your situation in the house, most likely though, selling, even though it's super attractive, mathematically, it doesn't make a ton of sense as long as the market continues to even hold steady at a normal nominal rate.
Now, to a certain extent, when you say cash out, do a refi first lien position HELOC refi on the current primary residence to get access to the equity to then buy the other primary, because we even looked at buying some rentals in Columbia.
Yeah.
But I was looking at like 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot houses in Columbia that we could rent for a nice price. We're still at $400,000 and $500,000.
Columbia used to be, So we're in Middle Tennessee. For those of you who don't know, Columbia used to be kind of the bargain spot.
Yeah,
it's not anymore.
No,
now it's just all going straight south, right off Nashville. Yeah, and it's just the money is just it's moving.
So my point being is, that's something else to weigh too with the decision is what are you. Yes, you gain on this side, but what are you giving up on the buy side?
Right.
It's our scenario. We were looking at a house right down the road from you, and dude, 3 years ago, that was less than half that price.
Do you want to know what I know the story of that person.
Do you? What?
They bought all of that land. So the land that you were looking at was roughly 18 acres, 16 acres, 16 acres. Okay. So where the two white houses are next to it,
they own that too.
Whole land was one, and it sold from the bank.
Yeah.
It was decrepit. I mean, it was terrible.
Yeah.
That house that they're selling right now that you guys were looking at, it was termites ate it up.
So they put a lot of money into it.
But all of that, it was like 40, I think it was 40 some acres, 40 or 50 acres, $289,000.
Oh.
They bought it for. So then what they did was they broke it off into 3 lots. They sold the other 2 lots to family. They bought those lots. They built those nice houses on them, modern farmhouses. And then they basically renovated that house, had an interior designer come in. Clearly, they
added a guest house.
To the nines, added the guest house, added a second story. There was like all that wasn't there. So put a ton of money into it. But I mean, they're killing it.
Yes.
Let's just put it that way. They are absolutely killing it.
And I thought it was a bargain. I was like, I'll go in 5% above ask, double the earnest money. And I'm like,
beautiful horse barn on it.
Yeah, the horse barn.
Horse pastures. There was a riding ring in the back. I mean,
it goes beyond that too. Yeah. It's got woods in the back, and we rode back there on a Ranger, and there's roads cut in. Tree stands. There's a shooting shack in the back corner. I'm like,
your dream.
Oh yeah. I'm like, this is speaking to me. I'm watching the kids running around while I'm in the back shooting deer. Blah blah blah. But anyways, I mean it's. Yeah.
But on the buy, I would agree. On the buy side, there's definitely, there's multiple sides to look at whenever you're making this decision. So just to be clear, I'm not saying that in all cases you should hold and then go buy another property and rent it. But I will just say, for those of you who are concerned and saying these guys are crazy, the bubble's gonna pop, whatever. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's say the bubble does pop.
Yeah.
In 2008, statistically, what was the best thing to be holding when the bubble popped?
Real estate.
Rentals.
Yeah.
Because guess what went up? The price of rentals, because all these foreclosures and bankruptcies, they needed a place to live.
Yep.
They couldn't get financing because of bankruptcy, so they had to rent. So the rental prices went up.
Tons of
demand for rentals. Yeah. So if you look at statistically, rentals are going to be safe on both sides. If things are going great, you're going to catch the appreciation side of it. If things are going sour, then you're going to catch the rental side of it, the cash flow, because there's demand, because people are going to be out of work and things like that. So again, I just think that when it comes to this, the first lien HELOC strategy, and I've seen this in multiple of our clients' lives, having that ability to be flexible, have liquidity. Our strategy offers liquidity and efficiency at the same time.
Right.
It's the only product that I know of that does that, right? At the same time. And honestly, like that, well, I should say there's another product, replace your banker, right?
Well, I was going to get into replace your employer here in a second.
Yeah, that too. I mean, all of it. So, but yeah, I just think that it's a really cool thing to talk about. It's not, again, for everybody to have a rental property. And that's another misconception. I think a lot of people believe that they have to be a landlord.
Yeah.
Don't I'll just tell you, if you have to be the landlord on the property, it's not a good real estate deal.
Yeah, nor do you have to. There's so many options out there, and it cuts into your profits, but you don't have to. So that kind of brings me to my next point is, one, thanks for watching this. If you do like it, please subscribe, hit the like button, turn on the notification bell as we're pumping more of these out on a regular basis. But in November, we're coming out with a product called Replace Your Employer. So catchy little phrase there. Replace your mortgage, replace your university, replace your employer. So Replace Your Employer, which teaches all about real estate. So Edmund and Nate will be doing that. So right now, you're kind of listening to two novices when it comes to real estate. Now, we can tell you all about how to finance those really well, but Nate and Edmund can tell you exactly how to acquire those and get a good price on them, and some different strategies to acquire real estate without any of your own money. So if that's something you like, please, check us out. Our website for now is replaceyourmortgage.com. However, moving forward, starting in November, it'll be Replace Your University, where we're going to have 5 products all under the same umbrella of Replace Your University. And we hope to see you there. Any parting comments?
No, I think that, well, actually, yes, I do have a parting comment.
I'm going to cut it off. I'm just kidding.
I do have a parting comment.
Yeah.
Okay. Cleveland is not a mistake by the lake.
It's pretty bad.
They're not. They're good now.
Oh, you're talking about the football team?
Yeah. I mean, the Indians and Ohio State lost Oregon, but other than that, go Buckeyes. No, sorry, Wisconsin fans.
When I say the mistake by the lake, I don't want to offend people. I'm not talking about the football team or anything. I'm talking about the people from there.
No, I'm offended. I'm highly offended now. Get out of here.
Just kidding.
Get out of here.
All right, take care, gang.